everyone. Welcome to Cupid's Corner. I'm Cupid. Today I will be talking about the Freak Circus and its ever-growing fandom. It recently blew up, I think, in the past months, despite it being around just a little bit longer. And I wanted to share my personal opinion on it, and as you can see, I have, the green heart and the star, because I am a fan of it. It has been a while since I've put my hand in a fandom before, because usually the fandom's toxic, weird, all that jazz. But I'm an adult, and the Freak Circus is a pretty, adult fandom, I would say. I personally believe that a kid should not be in it, because there's blood, there's implied SA, there's sexual scenes. It's a pretty intense little game. But I wanted to say the character designs of it are amazing. They're so detailed, so well put together, and it is amazing the visuals of this game. It blows me away personally. There are 5 characters. I think only 2 are romanceable. I'm gonna mispronounce his name. I know I am. Piero. I don't know if that's correct or not. Harlequin, Jester, Doctor, and Ticket Taker. I know Harlequin's the youngest. Then I think it's Jester, which is kind of crazy considering he's the boss. I'm pretty sure it goes Harlequin, Jester, Piero, Ticket Taker, and then Doctor. Ticket Taker might be the oldest one, which is also kind of funny considering he is the shortest one out of all of them, but it is what it is. With that, I did want to talk about my playthrough for the game. I'm going for Harlequin, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that because because Piero is seen as nicer. Piero is definitely puppy dog coded, while Harlequin is cat coded. Jesus Christ. While I agree that Piero up front may seem nicer, he drugs you if you don't want to visit him again. He constantly stalks you, and it's just very icky. And the only reason why he has feelings for you is because you were nice to him once. While Harlequin, yes, the reason why he's interested in you is because Piero is interested in you. He kind of gives you a choice. He gives you the choice to go into his tent or not. He lets you run away. And the thing is, I firmly believe that Piero would have just kept you in that tent if he could have. And while he, explained why you were like that with Ticket Taker to protect you, he only did that so he could have you. And while if you're not, nice to him at the beginning, you just straight up die. But the thing is, with all that, I kind of prefer Harlequin, simply because Harlequin doesn't constantly stalk you and make you feel like you don't have a choice. Because there's multiple times where you can just straight up tell him no, and he's just like, okay, I don't care. Despite the background with Columbina, which is a whole topic I'll probably get into later on this video. But with Jester being the head honcho, him and Ticket Taker are very close. In fact, if you're near the black tent where you shouldn't be, you can hear them talking, and Jester calls Ticket Taker old friend. So all these 5 people, being monsters in disguise, are very close. Piero says that Harlequin was the first one to show up, and since then they were growing, which is kind of funny considering Harlequin is, the youngest, and he acts the youngest too. You can tell he's little sibling energy, and it's absolutely hilarious to me. And that apparently Doctor likes heavy metal, which is also kind of funny. Anyway, I'm getting, sidetracked, and Piero likes sweets, which is also funny. And how they eat human flesh, because technically you can't call them cannibals because they're not human. Cannibalism implies them eating their own kind. But then again, they did eat Calabina, which means they did commit cannibalism at one point. They just don't do it anymore because they're eating humans. Which Jester has said, like, humans are disgusting, weak, they're all the same. You can tell he really hates humans. And knowing that makes me a little more excited for the more chapters that the Freak Circus comes out with. I hope it does come out with more stuff, because it's a very delightful game despite how dark it is. Especially since it's multi-choice, and I love multi-choice games. Like, you got me on a leash. Anyway. With the rest of the characters, Ticket Taker I feel like is the most human looking. I mean, in the cafe, the human who gives you the purple ticket, that's not a that's Ticket Taker. That's pretty obvious that that's Ticket Taker. So you've technically seen Ticket Taker without his like costume. You've seen what he looks like. Ooh, sorry, it's really late for me while I'm making this video. And with Piero, you've seen like a lot of people he says like a dragon or a dinosaur, which is probably true. But the thing is, he is so puppy coated that he constantly needs like attention. And the way he looks at Harlequin every time Harlequin like talks to you or interacts with you is so funny to me. And I understand why he does that, simply because of like the situation with Calabina. Because it's implied that them and Piero were lovers at some point. Because Jester and Harley Quinn tell the story. But the thing is, their stories are so different. Harley Quinn basically describes it as they were in a circus long before the one that they run now. And they were all treated as monsters, as like comedies. And Calabina was seen as something beautiful and pretty, something that humans could use. And Piero didn't like that at all, so he lashed out and got, collared up, and they all got in the cages. And the humans treated them very cruelly. So, it says in Harlequin's retelling of the story that Calabina willingly sacrificed herself so they could all become strong enough to defeat the humans. And he even describes her as an angel. And if you go to the mirror maze, look at all the mirrors, and then you see the one of Calabina, you can talk to her. And she basically describes that they're all coping in their own twisted ways. Because despite how the story is told, they are basically making themselves relive it over and over again by telling the stories. And not just that, the pink tint, which is probably assumed to be her tent because she's pink, they keep killing people in her tent. Despite her being described as angelic, nice, holy. Like, she would be the kindest out of all of them. Them even describing her that her claws were dull and her fangs were smaller than theirs. So it kind of feels a little disrespectful that they keep killing people in her tent. But whatever. And then there's fools. The people that Jester mind controls for them to do stuff around the circus. Either it be guiding people, doing acts, handing out flyers, which we see in that one part of the game. And it feels like they're so obviously supposed to be Calabina. And then there's that one scene of when, Piero is throwing his knives, and the woman who's attached to the board is the Karen that yells at us in the coffee shop. And I've also noticed that a lot of women die in the game. There's the Karen at the coffee shop. Carol is the one that, gets taken. Calabina's a woman. And even though MC can be like man or woman, it, feels like there's a lot of women getting taken, which I'm sure is not the creator's intent, but I just find it funny. And then the Jester retells the story as well. that there was once an angel, and it is implied that there are two lovers. And it's so obviously supposed to be Columbina and Piero. And Harlequin gets jealous. Why does he specifically get jealous is not specifically said. He might have had feelings for Columbina, or he got jealous that Piero had something that he didn't. Because, partners. And he ends up killing her, and his line is, maybe I will finally love you like I should. Which implies that he either didn't love her in the first place, or the reason he loved her was extremely twisted. Like, if Piero has you, I want you too. Which means they're quite possessive over the people they claim is theirs. Which I'm the type of person that would be like, can I have both? I'd like to have both, please. Either that or I'm just gonna pick Harlequin. Because I have a strong sense that if we try to stay with Piero, that Harlequin's gonna end up just straight up killing us. Like, we're gonna be dead. Guts on the floor. And the worst part of that is that it feels like that's absolutely going to happen unless we somehow make friends with all 5 of them. Because if you look at the website the Freak Circus comes from, it tells you the endings they're planning to do. Piero, Harlequin, both, or just straight up the protagonist, main character, whatever you want to call them. And it feels like the reason, because there's like a secret scene where it's like, your poison's not strong enough for Piero, and that's Jester talking to Harlequin. And Harlequin's like, are you sure I can try? Which means if Piero and us really do get close, he might just straight up fight Piero. Like, absolutely, actually try to fight the man. And he probably might lose, considering that nowhere in the stories of the retelling does it say that Piero fought Harley Quinn. And I personally believe he probably should have. Because it would have told him that he meant business. And like I said before, I personally love the game. It's a great place. I've been a little bit a part of the fandom. So far, there's no one that's like been outwardly mean or gross or weird, which is genuinely surprising considering what the game is. But it's so refreshing to find a game that's like pretty, but at the same time the fandom be pretty like soft and fluffy and pretty cool. There's even been people, weirdly enough, I've had people that started shipping Harley Quinn and Columbina, and I'm like, you're just shipping her with our murderer, stop that. And then there's Piero and Harley Quinn, and I'm like, I see it. Green apple. Yeah. I've also called it Christmas Clown, because it's red and green, which is Christmas colors. I just thought I'd share that because I thought it was funny. And there's been a lot of worlds here on VR Chat that are like the Freak Circus. Like, they have the tents, food stalls, everything. And it feels so nice. And there's people who are trying to do voice acting, making avatars of the characters. Literally, I think this fandom has existed less than a year, and so much has bloomed from it that it is crazy to me. And I am actually really happy to be part of this community. It's been a while since I've actually gotten attached to an actual full-on fandom and interacted with its people. Usually I just kind of watch the show and just be like, okay. But it is very refreshing to actually be a part of fandom that I actually like. Not just the game, but its people as well. And it's great. Okay, so there's also, I've talked about the tents. You know, each one corresponds to each character, the stories that they retell. Harlequin, and Piero straight up breaking into your apartment, yippee-ki-yay. That one Harlequin scene. Mm. Oh, Piero straight up drugs you, by the way, if you try to leave. I think I already mentioned that, but that's, like, crazy to me. It really is. I think that's actually about it. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to me rant. You have a wonderful day, and this avatar is Noms by Novapie.